The black.
We're going to hear a lot about. I want to emphasize that one reason that none of the parents that I know opted out was because we don't value assessment and we don't value critical thinking. It's really the opposite. We opted out of the tests because we think that the tests and the way that they are used don't stand up to critical thinking, and we think that the system shortchanges our kids. We think it shortchanges our kids in a number of ways. By crowding out the kind of teaching that makes kids want to learn and able to think creatively and critically, and also by creating a teacher evaluation system that doesn't make sense and that rewards test prep over inspired teaching. The city and the state have already acknowledged that the tests are not a good measure of student learning by delinking them from promotion. That's great, we've been saying that all along. But if the tests are not a good measure of student learning, does it make sense to say that they're a good measure of teaching? For that matter, does it make sense to use them to evaluate teachers who don't teach the tested subjects, or who may not even teach the children that are being tested? So does it make sense to evaluate art teachers according to math scores, or kindergarten teachers according to third grade scores? It doesn't make any sense. And because we value assessment, we think it's crucial to have meaningful assessment of our kids' learning that will help parents and teachers and kids understand what they need and help them learn better. We also think it's important to have meaningful assessment of our teachers that will help them learn better. So when we see a system that doesn't make sense, that is based on inappropriate or downright irrelevant measures, we feel cheated. Or when we see a test that constantly tells teachers working with high needs populations or kids who are struggling, you need to do more test prep, again, we feel cheated. We feel cheated when teachers are discouraged from working with the students who need them most. And we know it's easier for bureaucrats and policymakers to look at numbers than to do the hard work of working with educators and mentoring teachers, but we don't accept that. We don't accept that we can outsource the problem to Pearson and call it a day. We want the kind of excellence that our children deserve.
Okay, the next person is going to speak, thank you, is Michelle Cupper, who's also a parent.
Hi, my name is Michelle Cupper, and I'm a member of the Community Education Council of District 15 in Brooklyn. And I'm here very excited to announce today that the CEC of District 15 has passed a resolution in opposition to the high-stakes nature of the state tests. In a unanimous decision, underscoring the urgency felt by CEC delegates, the members have shown their commitment to working with both city administrators and parents to take the necessary steps to alleviate the negative consequences that extreme testing has had on our schools. The Community Education Council of District 15 calls on the Governor of the State of New York, the New York State Commissioner of Education, the New York State Board of Regents, the Chancellor of the Department of Education of New York City, and other policymakers to take action on the following. 1. Build a system of assessment and accountability based on multiple measures of learning. 2. Demand increased transparency in test content and accountability among the test creators. 3. Reduce the number and duration of tests. 4. Stop the use of standardized test scores for any high-stakes decisions related to students, teachers, or schools, and specifically end the process of teacher evaluation on the basis of student standardized test scores. 5. Reduce the over-reliance on standardized testing for all students, and particularly for students who have been most harmed in the current testing environment, English language learners and students with disabilities. Lastly, 6. Support an assessment system such that refusing the standardized tests is a clear and viable option for families of students in New York City public schools. These actions must be taken to improve school conditions immediately. In short, we firmly believe that a focus on test scores will not solve the problems of a school system. The tests were put into place to ensure a higher quality of education for our students, but data alone can't do the job. A test score is like a temperature read. Just as a sick child won't get better without medicine, nurturing, and time to heal, an at-risk student or school won't improve without resources, aid, and care. Gathering increasing amounts of data can tell us that we do not have equality of educational opportunity at our schools, but it will not close the gap. It will not get us closer to a solution. So we hope that this resolution will serve as a bridge between city officials and parents. We hope it will help support the stakeholders who are working to undo the damage caused by high-stakes testing and those who are working tirelessly toward transformative school improvement. Thank you.
Okay, our third parent going to speak briefly is Kelly Goff.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm just here to tell my story. My daughter is more than a test score. Last year, we were threatened with her not to be promoted to the 7th grade due to her failure of the math exam. After back and forth fighting with the DOE, she was promoted to the 8th grade, even though she had to retake the exam in August, and we denied her to attend summer school last year. She had an 86 average in the class for math, but she was not going to be promoted due to her failure of the test score. While I am pleased with the new promotion regulations DOE announced, I feel that testing should only be used for finding out your child's areas of help, weaknesses, and then help that child. Last year, she was only given help up until the point where the test was given. After testing was finished, there was no additional help, no additional resources available for her to continue through 7th grade. So my daughter is more than just a test score.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to call up. We're going to get the rally underway. I just want to close it out by saying, some of the things that we want as a group from a school system. We want real learning every day, not test prep. We want transparent, developmentally appropriate, and valid student assessments. We want child-centered, rich curriculum. We want standards that truly support child learning. And we want funding for schools, not for private testing companies. Basically, we demand real accountability from the top, not on the backs of our children. And we're here today with Change the Stakes and a bunch of parents and teachers and students calling for change. Woo!